3. So, yeah. Week 14, baby. We're on the road to our number one draft pick.
At this point, yes. They tried to fake us out and make it seem like we weren't going to get this opportunity by trying to force overtime, or at least at the very least win the freaking game. They were at first looking like they were trying to win the game, and it looked like they were about to. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, why are we doing this? This is not worse. First of all, before we continue this, please make sure you like and subscribe. We really need this. Please share this video as well. We know that we're live right now, but when this is a VOD, you'll have the opportunity to share it. Please share it. Help the family grow. But back to what I was saying. Why give the Giants fans this type of game where the score was 7-3 for the majority of it until like halfway through the third quarter? And then I looked back up and I was like, oh, it's 14-3. Great. Nothing really had changed other than the touchdown. And then you get towards the end, and then they get the touchdown, they get the extra point, and now all of a sudden it's a game again. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, what are we doing? What are we trying to do?
Right.
So then they drive down the field. Drew Lock gets that 30-yard run, whatever it was. Wandale Robinson gets the big catch. Malik Neighbors gets the big catch. I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, where was this the entire game? Why is it that the Giants decide to do this when it doesn't matter?
Yeah.
And at least in my eyes, as a fan who knows that we're just destined for misery for the rest of the season, why are you trying to do this? They can't lose right. Brian Daboll needs to take the brunt of most of this blame. They can't. Brian Daboll needs to take the brunt of the blame for most of this anyway. He's the reason Dominic Martindale left. He's the reason we don't have Saquon. He's the reason that Daniel Jones was a fiasco, what it was. And he should have been a lot and ended a lot sooner. That whole era of Daniel Jones should have been ended a lot sooner, or error, as a lot of people on social media are calling it. Should have been done a lot sooner. But we dealt with it for 6 years. They were talking about in the middle, toward the end of the game, actually, not the middle of the game. The commentators were talking about franchise quarterbacks coming out of this draft. They're like, we don't think there's that many franchise quarterbacks coming out. At this point, it doesn't matter. How much worse can you get from Daniel Jones?
We need a live body that
Anyone.
can throw and connect. What did they say about Drew Lock today? His first connection was it in the second half?
I believe so. Yes, because
yes.
he had
His first pass that actually connected with the receiver was in the third quarter. How do you go a whole half with not connecting with any of your receivers?
Well, when you have people like Evan Neal that get drafted in the top 10 and they can't block anything to save their life, because Evan Neal was just letting people get past him the whole game. There was constant pressure. Drew Lock was always having to move out of the pocket. He always had to step back, further back into the pocket, which you never want to do. But this is what the Giants have had an issue with since before Daniel Jones was here. A line issue. We've had a lineman issue since Eli Manning. This offensive line issue predates Daniel Jones. And it has continued for the last decade. And the only thing that the former general managers and the current one has done is get backup linemen from other teams, people from practice squads, bringing them over, trying them out, if you will, and then installing them in places week to week because people can't even stay healthy anyway. So we've never had a consistent line for years. I remember that one season, it was like, 16 games in a row. We had, or like something like that. We had a new offensive starting line every week. Like, you can't build a team without consistency. And the fact that the team has changed head coaches, has changed general managers, has changed many types of players, most people that have left the Giants have been succeeding or have been doing better.
Oh my, they're
most,
amazing.
if not all.
Leonard Williams last week, hello, with the 90-something yard pick six. Hello? I don't think he did. It was his first ever, right? That he did that. Obviously he didn't do it with the Giants.
Nope.
That was amazing.
The only person that's doing badly that's not a Giant anymore is Jabril Peppers because of his case that he caught with some crazy illegal activities. We're not going to go into that, but that's the only person that I can think of that has not been thriving since leaving the Giants. And I guess Kadarius Toney, since, well, he did that himself, so we don't got to bring that up. But
right.
but other than that, everyone else has been thriving. Xavier McKinney, Saquon, Which, by the way, I have to talk about this real quick because I brought him up. Shame on the Eagles fans for being this hype about beating the Panthers barely today. Because I saw a lot of people getting overhyped, and I'm seeing a lot of people troll the Eagles fan base because y'all are too hyped, calling it the Eagles Super Bowl today. What kind of embarrassing act is that y'all get so hyped about beating a 3-10 team?
Yeah.
Barely, by the way, because the Panthers had a chance to come back, and the ball was in their hands, and the fate of the game was in the Panthers' hands, not the Eagles, who were supposed to have dominated. But our season is so over. I'm talking about another team and a division rival at that. Think about that too, Giants fans. Like, there's nothing else to talk about for the Giants. Every week I say basically the same thing.
Yeah.
The only thing that I could really point out differently is that the stats were similar to Daniel Jones. It's just Drew Lock. But this is what I've been saying for a while, that Daniel Jones is a backup quarterback. And this is what a backup quarterback looks like when he gets the starting job. Drew Lock is just Daniel Jones in a different variant. It's just we don't expect Drew
That
Lock
is.
to be this number 6 overall first round draft pick caliber talent that he was supposed to be, which no one said that Daniel Jones was supposed to be that. But if you're going to draft him at number 6 in the first round, God dang it, I expect him to be a franchise quarterback, and I expect him to be a talent that helps us win games,
Absolutely.
not stay where we're at year after year and wonder why we don't progress or improve.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he's not somebody. We had somebody who wasted a lot of time and financial resources
and
that
Dayball
never
is most to blame
deserved
for
it.
this.
Yeah. He
This is
never
mostly
deserved it.
Dayball's fault, which
Yeah.
is why he always looks angry and irate and frustrated every time something goes wrong because he knows it falls on him.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
You're
you should
right.
do a better job. Maybe you
Yeah.
should stop doing everything and trying to have control of everything. This is why Dominic Martindale left. And now we have this bum defensive coordinator who is a horrible replacement. The defense has regressed.
I don't even know who the defensive coordinator is. We knew
He's from the
Don.
Titans.
I don't even know his name. We knew
It
Dominic
doesn't matter because he
Martindale's name.
sucks. Why should we care to know his name? The defense is terrible. It's not what it used to be. It's awful. Dexter Lawrence is one. His talent's being wasted. His time is being wasted because you can't have a talent like that on the defensive line, and we have no offense to show for it for that defense because the defense itself, the personnel is good. It's the system that they're in right now under that defensive coordinator, and the fact that the morale is so low after everything that's happened, and they're always on the field. Any defense is going to be bad if they're on the field 70 to 60% of the time.
Yeah.
Like you need time to recover. Our offense is putrid. 81 passing yards halfway through the third quarter by Drew Lock. 81. He had 17 rushing yards, Mom. That's almost a quarter of his passing yards at that time.
Oh my god.
Malik Neighbors had a catch for 17 yards, and that's it up until that fourth quarter. I can't. Like,
Maybe that's part of the tanking strategy. You just keep
you
failing,
can't tank
failing,
if you already
failing.
sucked from the beginning. Like, or rather, it can't be a tanking strat if you've been playing that way already.
Then you
We've been
give
playing like that for
false hope.
years.
You give false hope at the very end of the game,
We do
and
those same
then
short routes because we can't develop a play longer than 25, 30 yards because Daniel Jones at the time when he was the quarterback couldn't throw it farther than 40 yards accurately. So we were playing these short plays, these quick in and out routes, these comeback routes, these hitch comebacks, these dig routes, slants, barely any real drag routes. I can't say drag, cross routes. You don't really see a lot of those because those take a long time to develop. A tight end can't run across the field in the amount of time that it takes for Daniel Jones to not get sacked. They can't because Daniel Jones and Drew Lock or anyone that's a quarterback for that matter has under 2 seconds to do anything.
yeah,
And that's just you can't play. It's unplayable. As I say when I play video games, that's unplayable. You can't be in a situation where you have under 2 seconds to make a read. And then guess what? The one person that you relied on that's no longer there was the person that you would get your check down to. Now you're throwing the check down to Devin Singletary. And no disrespect to Tracy Jr., he's a rookie, but he's not Saquon.
he's not Saquon.
Like the check down it's not even a reliable check down anymore. It's just people who got a chip on their shoulder or something to prove. Devin Singletary has to go. I'm sorry. There are several players that need to go after this year.
Before
Uh,
you begin, I'm just letting you know I have to switch out different plugs, so I'm gonna turn off my camera just so you don't think something's wrong.
okay,
Keep
that's
going.
fine. I will hold it down from here. Um, I can't. It's so frustrating that we have all these players on this team that we brought over in replacement of Saquon, uh, and we thought that paying all these other guys his money was the right move. And I'm being honest, even if we had Saquon, we probably only have three or more wins than what we do right now. At least 3 to 4, maybe. Um, it's just sad. There's no optimism or any positive side that I could pull from this game because the Saints played poorly. And really, it wasn't that they won. It's more so that we gave them a freebie. They didn't really earn the victory. It was more so just kind of a they walked over us kind of thing. It wasn't really a hard earned game. It was pretty easy. They didn't even if they made mistakes, it didn't matter. Um, so in my
Mm.
opinion, like I've been saying for the past several weeks, we just keep losing out. There should be no reason for us to be trying to win meaningless games. We almost tried to win a meaningless game today. I don't see us winning the next week game against the Ravens or even coming close to it unless the Ravens somehow have a monumental collapse. Like, I don't see us doing anything to the Ravens, so that's fine. But we almost won a game today, Giants fans, and that would not have been ideal for us considering what we need to do. And despite the commentators and many other people feeling that Cam Ward or Shador Sanders or other quarterbacks that they've mentioned that are coming out of the draft, despite them thinking that they may not be the answer, we need somebody to just come in and we just need to reset. We need to really continue to build the offensive line because, again, that's been an issue since before Daniel Jones. But if we're not going to address these issues, we'll get the same results. The Giants will continue to have these struggles until the remnants of Dave Gettleman's reign are fully over. And that means cap salary. It's a lot of different things. And then now when Joe Shane leaves, because I can't see us doing anything with Joe Shane or Brian Dable anymore, it is washed. It's shot. There's no opportunity for them to redeem themselves. It's done. I don't
Yeah.
want Dayball to be here anymore. I don't want Joe Shane to be in the office. He's already proven to us that he can't handle being a manager and making the right decisions on his own without having to rely on other people like his children. I'm going to keep mentioning that every week. I'm not letting it go. I will never let it go because it infuriates me that somebody who gets paid, I believe he gets paid millions to make these decisions, is
I'm
using
sure.
his family, and let alone his children and their children's friends for advice on what he should do to run a multi-$100 million franchise.
Yeah.
Just I can't. You can't make it
Michael
up.
Holmes is in the chat,
Michael
and
Holmes.
I asked him about the call. What he thought about the calls, and Michael says that the calls were horrible today, and they were. They were horrible calls
Predictable calls,
today.
predictably bad.
Um, and weird. Not just horrible, like weird. Like really strange things happened in this game.
Yeah.
Reversed touchdown. Wasn't that? That was a weird moment. Oh no, it was the reverse field goal. That was weird.
Yep.
And yes, it was a little rough, but I think they that was a rough play,
Yep.
but it is football. And the timing of choosing to make that call in that moment during that field goal, and then that stripping the field goal, that I don't know, that pissed me off.
No, yeah, it
Whatever.
was it was it was annoying. It is what it is. But it's gotten to this point that whatever happens, if it doesn't go in our favor, it doesn't surprise me anymore.
No,
And I kind of just take it and I'm just like, all right, whatever. We'll just see how they decide to recover from this. But they never recover.
no,
Nothing at all. They again they'll give you hope when it's too late and it's meaningless and you almost don't want it. It's like unwanted. Like at the end of the game this today, I didn't want them to force overtime. I was like, don't make me watch more of this garbage. Like what? And the thing is, they weren't trying to force overtime. They were trying to freaking win the game. But the way that those plays were, with those big plays, they were trying to put themselves in a position to either force overtime or win the game there. And we almost won the dang game. But luckily, like they always do, they can't finish. So they squandered it. And it's funny. The commentators said that we had to make the most of the Saints' turnover. I immediately responded with, "When have the Giants ever shown that they make the most out of anyone's turnovers? When have they ever done that?
You probably could
Ever?"
count them on one hand. You probably could count those situations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they've never actually made an opportunity out of a mistake from the other team, like a pick or a fumble or something. We don't. What we do is we get a field goal. That is our comeback opportunity, or our like comeback to that. It's like, oh, okay, we're gonna get a field goal. It's not get a touchdown. It's either get a field goal or punt it back to them.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's it. That just is what it is. That this is what happens when your team is poorly run for a decade. For the last decade, the team has been poorly run. Do all these players we gave away, giving away not just one generational talent, but two.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham and Saquon Barkley. How is it that we had Odell Beckham and
Oh,
Saquon Barkley on our team,
that was horrible that we did that.
and we didn't do anything with any of them?
No, we didn't. Want to shout out to June Roman or Roman the third. Love your family show. Thank you so much again for joining us and being a fan of our family bonding show. We have a
Yes,
lot of
thank
fun
you, thank
doing
you.
this, and it allows us to really be angry with everybody else because usually it's just the son and I or on a phone call being angry, but now we can share in the anger. We can
Yes,
share in
it's
anger
good.
with other Giants fans and commiserate after every game. So we
It's
love doing
therapeutic.
that. Michael Holmes said we need to draft a QB and fix the O line. This team needs rebuilding bad. I mean, again, we say it every week. They've been in rebuilding mode. It seems like forever now.
Yep.
And how long can we keep doing that? How long does rebuilding take? And just to go back to what you were speaking about earlier about what the commentators were saying about available quarterbacks and what they should have done last season. Yeah, absolutely, they should have gotten one of the many available quarterbacks that were in the draft. And as I keep thinking about this, the NFL, each team that has gotten rid of potential or have undermined the success. I think that's a better word, better phrasing, I should say. Undermined the success of recent potential franchise quarterbacks. There's a
Hmm.
long list of them. Like a Johnny Manziel, he could have used some more support. Great,
Right.
good quarterback. Great. He was a Heisman winner, right? Do I have that right? He was a Heisman
Yeah.
winner.
Look at Sam
Uh,
Darnold. He's 10-2 with the
yeah,
Vikings after
yeah.
going on four different teams.
Right. They've undermined some great ones. We could talk about like your Kaepernicks who was just did dirty. And now every field has, a support of supporting of culture and diversity, whatever. Even though that's kind of what he was kind of taking a stance on. But they've thrown away some really good franchise potential quarterbacks before their time.
Cam Newton.
And Cam Newton is one of them too. And not RG3, probably another one.
I was about to say
Uh,
RG3 got forced into playing a game that they were going to lose no matter what.
yeah. And the turnover of franchise quarterbacks in the colleges is not that quick. They don't
No.
come around all the time. And that's kind of what the commentators were speaking about today. So when you are kind of getting rid of the potential ones too quickly, then you're going to be in the predicament that many of the teams are in. They're all desperate for a franchise quarterback, but there's not enough to go around. So these other guys who end up being passed around, the journeyman quarterbacks passed around, and then when you look around, it's like there's no one else. And then you got guys like Drew Lock, who's, waiting on the sidelines for really a horrible quarterback who's starting to get his
Jerry
chance.
Jones.
And now he's got to end the season with the crap, the nonsense, the disaster that Jones created by him playing. And it's just a lot of mistakes were made, and it's not just the quarterbacks; it's the decision making within the teams across the league, and lack of the proper support for some of these guys because it's not easy becoming a face of a brand because football teams are brand,
A
and
losing
being
brand did that.
right, and having that weight on your shoulders, because most quarterbacks are not drafted into teams that just won the Super Bowl, I suppose, unless the Super Bowl winning quarterback has retired. So they're all dealing with these rebuilding teams. So it's a lot of weight, and they just need to look at that whole process again. I feel passionate about that because this just the reason why the Giants and other teams are in this is because too many good players, quarterbacks have been thrown out before their time. That's just
Hmm.
my little rant for the week.
I want to add to that because I'm a little upset because I just thought about why something was bothering me and I just remember what it was. Did you see Malik Neighbors' face after he made that last big play?
Yes. Hmm.
He didn't look happy. He didn't look hype. He didn't look excited. He made the catch and he got me a little bit. He's done. He's mentally, he's checked out. He
I
doesn't care.
definitely.
That's the face of somebody who is defeated.
Oh yeah. Oh
He's
yeah.
defeated. Now,
Hmm.
the reason I bring this up, and you made me think about this, you said Drew Lock got thrown into a crappy situation where he's hated by the fans because Daniel Jones made it this way. That there's just no hope, and all the fans are just this animosity. There was
Hmm.
booing, not even a quarter away through the first quarter. It was like after the second drive that the Giants were three
True.
and out.
Yeah.
All I heard was booing. How can any athlete, like you said, come in here and be the face of a losing brand where the fans are booing at you, all because the team sucks in general and the history and hard knocks, all of it? How can anyone come here and play? It's a setup for failure
Yeah.
for
Absolutely.
any position. But again, Malik Neighbors looked defeated. I haven't seen an NFL wide receiver come up from a big play like that and look defeated ever in my life. I don't think. He made a big play, but we were about to be in a position to score. He looked defeated, like the game's already over.
Yeah.
I've never. I've been watching football for 25 years. I've never seen a receiver come up off the ground like that after making a play looking like that. That shows you how bad it is to play and be in that locker room. Like, if you didn't think that there was an issue with the locker room, watch Malik Neighbors after that play and look at his face again and tell me what you see. I
Yeah.
want everybody watching this video and anyone that watched the game, go back and watch that play. Malik Neighbors looked like a kid that got cold for Christmas. That's how he just looked. He looked like it, he just looked so
I'll tell you,
upset.
there ain't no coal in his paycheck. I tell you that he's getting the direct
Certainly
deposit.
not.
That's sweet.
It certainly
I
looked
wish I
like he
could get
got
his.
coal in his paycheck. The way that he got up, I'm telling you, he looked so upset, and I have never seen an NFL player look like that after making a big play ever. Like it bothered me. Like I felt bad for him. I was like, he don't even want to be here. He didn't want to play here. He don't even want to be out there right now. Like he wants to go play anywhere else. And don't be surprised, Giants fans, when that contract's over, that he doesn't want to renew it with the Giants.
Well, he's gonna be out. He's
Don't
gonna
be
be out.
surprised when he says he's asking for trades or he's looking for. Don't be surprised. It's coming. It's coming.
We've got comments from June again. Thank God no overtime. We agree with that.
Oh,
Couldn't
thank
stand to
God.
watch any longer. Prolong it to prolong the inevitable. You ain't lying about getting rid of talent. We all hurt together. And one more, there are no stars of this team. Saquon is gone, so Mara's really losing sleep and selling no jerseys. Yeah, absolutely. The son and I talk about this. The licensing revenue for this team must be down probably 75% for the season
It's
because
got to be.
that's how they make money. They sell licenses for the teams. They because they own the license to put the Giants branding on things. Believe me, they are not getting a lot of licensing new deals,
No.
and anything that they're doing themselves, they're losing money. They are losing money. They're not selling. The orders for those are just not. It's just
And you
not
deserve it.
happening. And yes, absolutely. And I think that moving forward, they're going to recognize the bigger picture in some of their decisions. It's not just about who's on the field running a ball.
Hmm.
or or blocking or whatever they end up doing or passing is the
Hmm.
bigger picture. Excuse me, and that's a business decision. Why that wasn't considered, like, oh, if we lose somebody like Saquon, what's going to happen to our jersey sales? Like, where were the number crunchers in the decisions about what kind of value they get? That's what I want to know. Again, I'm a business person. I am not in finance, but I know enough to be dangerous. Okay. And I know that you make decisions like that. You're looking at, yeah, what you pay the guy, but you got to look at how much you make off of the guy. And apparently nobody looked at that because no one's buying a Singletary jersey. No one.
I
No
want you.
one.
I want you to know right now. I'm on the NFLshop.com just to prove a point. I'm on the New York Giants page. I don't even see an option to buy a Singletary jersey. I see Lawrence Taylor. I see Michael Strahan, Malik Neighbors, and Dexter Lawrence. And they're all priced at under $100 right now because they know ain't nobody buying them. They got,
Nobody is buying
if
them.
you
No
guys
one
want to
is
get
buying
a
them.
cheap jersey and you care this much, you can get, I'm serious, you can get a Lawrence Taylor jersey right now, the actual authentic version for $108. That usually is 160. That's right now. You can get a Malik Neighbors jersey for $88.
Like, I'm
They,
sure
they,
there's some sort of a holiday gift, some sort of holiday promo code that'll knock a few extra dollars off of
oh,
those.
I forgot Thibodeau. He's there too. But and Sims and Shockey. They're going way back.
Wow! Shockey and Sims. Yeah, because they know if they put up Singletary up there, they're like,
Nobody's
Singletary who?
buying it.
Nobody's buying that jersey. No one. No one's buying that
If you
jersey. It's
if you're
just not
patient like me
happening.
and scroll all the way down, you can finally see Slayton.
And nobody's buying his jersey either.
I bought
It's
his just because I
pathetic.
supported him. But at the time that he was an undrafted free agent and he was surprising to me, and it was his first year, so I got suckered into it.
Now he's just, and you know what? He's probably still good. Like if he left, I bet you he'd do well on another team. He's probably just over the Giants like the other players. Like Dexter Lawrence is hurt, but is he?
Right.
He's on reserve right now.
I don't think he
Um,
is. I don't think he's hurt.
I think he's just, quiet quitting, as they say. That's what I think he's doing. Injured quitting. That's what we'll use that for football. Injured quitting.
That's probably
Because
exactly what he's doing. He's trying to figure out his options. And you know
right,
what?
right.
You want to get the heck out of Dodge because it's a sinking ship and it's sinking fast. It's been sinking for the last decade. It's becoming the friggin' the Titanic at this point.
I
It's
believe it's definitely it's been the Titanic. There are no survivors, okay? There are
no.
no freaking survivors, on the sinking ship. And the last locker room interviews, which I believe were after the Tampa Bay game, was Malik Neighbors, who was probably even more sad and upset about having to play for this crappy team when he was interviewed in the locker room. And he started blaming Dayball, and then they interviewed Lawrence, who did the same thing, and then he got hurt, and but they both had the same demeanor and this whole like check the leadership, check the head coach
Yeah,
type attitude.
nobody likes Dayball. No one likes him.
Nobody is,
No one.
they're not rallying toward
It's him.
victory for him. They can't bring themselves to do it because he's a total jerk, it
He's a
seems.
jerk.
And
And
he's
he
just
can't admit
not
when he's wrong.
right, right. It's
He
it's
has
it's
yet to
horrible.
apologize to the fan base for all of this that he's done. He has yet to say anything or acknowledge anything like that. The closest he's come to it was saying that Daniel Jones made mistakes. That's the closest thing he's come to it. He didn't say it like that, but I'm paraphrasing. But that's the closest thing he's come to it so far, admitting his wrongs by saying, "Oh well, Daniel Jones was a mistake. He kept making the same mistakes. Yada yada yada." It's like, yes, we've known this for 6 years. So I can't. I'm done. I don't have anything else
Yeah,
to say. We're
yeah.
just repeating the same
June
thing.
says they had to go that far back talking about the the jerseys on sale on the NFL.com. It's really
Yeah,
sad. Carl Banks said it best. At best, him and LT can play better than this defense, and I'm sure Carl Banks meant right now in their aged lives that they could probably pay better, and
I'm
that's
sure they
probably
could.
true. And then June added, they're emotionally defeated, and that's really what we're seeing. You
All
know,
time low in morale.
yeah, yeah, leadership is really, really important, and having leaders who have some humility and that can admit when they're wrong. And we're not in those private meetings that they're having, but something tells me if they were having private meetings in which they were saying things like, you know what, we've made mistakes in trying to build a team here that could win, and we're really sorry. I think those words haven't come out. I
Nope.
think there's a whole bunch of other BS being said to them other than we've made mistakes and we're behind you guys and we're going to do everything possible to get the right team pulled together. Those are the words that need to be said. And please, I really hope that someone from the Giants administrative office would please was watching this and share that message. I'm a communication by trade. I am a communications expert. This is what I do, leadership communication strategy. That's the type of messaging, and they should be saying it every time they gather the team together after games, the week before games, when they're right before they practice. You know what? This is. I know this is what weren't expected. Neither were we. We're really disappointed in ourselves for making these decisions. That is what can rally your team to be like, you know what? We're in this together. Thanks, coach. We're in this together. And thanks for letting us know, and thanks for admitting that we want to help we're going to band together and make this a winning team. But those words are not being said. There's a bunch of dudes who are just saying to themselves maybe that they made mistakes, but all the other BS that they're saying to the team members is just not making them go out there and try to get real wins. And it doesn't matter to get real wins. And right now, I hope they don't, right? We still only have 2 wins on the season. This is actually, I mean, even during the McAdoo years, I don't think, I think we did better than 2 wins on the season at this point.
Who cares? Let's stop talking about. Don't even mention him. Screw him. The fact that you even mentioned him pisses me off. Don't ever say his name again. That's not allowed. That's not allowed. Don't say that name.
Michael Holmes added that Michael Holmes said, "I'm a combat veteran. When you lose morale, you jeopardize lives, and no coming back from that." Absolutely,
I agree.
absolutely, yes, yes. There's no question about that, and that's where and the lives that are being jeopardized. And this are the future of these some of these very young. We have a lot of rookies that saw out there on the field today. Some of their future careers, right, of where they might go, how they were able to perform for the New York Giants could impact where they're able to go after this. Because believe me, a lot of the young men that were out there today don't want to be on that team. They were trying to make a name for the Hawkins kid, who I think he ended up getting hurt, but he had a touchdown that got taken away, right? Wasn't that him? Or no, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot. I think it was something like that. It was first career. Oh, interception. He got the interception. I'm sorry, I'm getting all confused.
It's fine.
Um, but you know, people like him, he's just trying to make a name for himself and hope that some of the teams sees him and says, let's see if we can get that kid, right? Question from June. How do we feel about Brandon Brown becoming the new GM?
Indifferent.
Brandon, indifferent.
Nothing matters right now. I'm gonna give you the honest answer. Nothing matters right now. Nothing. What do we have to base off? More losing seasons?
Yeah.
There. I don't want to talk about any potential whoever's until the end of the season. That's how I feel about it. And this is just me. I'm not saying this to him. I'm saying as myself, I wouldn't even want to think about anybody moving down this line right now because we are so down bad that it doesn't matter who comes in at this point. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter. Nothing
Hmm.
matters until we actually see some sort of difference on the field. I don't care about these what ifs anymore. You know how many times I've went through this scenario, guys? It's been 10 years. Every season, I'm like, all right, what can we do differently? We do the same thing. I'm done. I don't want to talk about future opportunities. I don't want to talk about somebody coming in here and making a difference. I just want to see what happens now. I'm done. Because you waste mental power on these people. You can't waste your mental power on the Giants right now. Don't do that. We will never be in a situation that we expect. That's the
Yeah.
best way I could say that. Because what we were shown in Hard Knocks was total chaos and doing anything on a whim to change the team. What's stopping them from doing that next season or the season after that? Because I can tell you right now, that's probably what's been happening for the last 10 years for us to be performing like this. I don't know what else is happening that makes us play this way. Because how else is that we always look like we don't know what we're doing every season?
Yeah.
Because the front office doesn't know what they're doing. So we don't need to worry about future opportunities for any GM until we see what happens after this season and what they produce in the offseason. I don't care. I don't. I have no vision or foresight that I could produce in my brain that would make me feel confident about this team. That is how bad they've been.
Wow, that's pretty bad. That's definitely
I don't know
pretty
what else to
bad.
tell you. This is my honest answer. I am giving you the straightest, honest answer I could give you right now. And that's a great question regarding the general manager situation, but none of it matters. It just doesn't. Because Joe Shane, to me, was a godsend before he started doing everything he started doing. I thought that the sky was the limit with Joe Shane. We've gotten down even worse in a situation than we were with Dave Gettleman. So
Yeah.
I'm afraid to answer that question optimistically. I'm afraid. I have nothing positive to say about this team right now. It's bad. 25 years, guys. I've been a Giants fan for 25 years. It's not like I just became a fan overnight. 25 years. I have no clue what to say about this team in a positive light because I have seen incompetency rule this team for a decade.
Mm.
We'll
That's a
see what happens.
long time for for incompetency to take place, and it goes on for too long for sure.
And 6 of it was
And
with Daniel Jones. Think about that. 6 of those 10
ah,
years,
why it
more
was
than
six?
half
Yeah, yeah,
with Daniel Jones.
yeah. It's true.
So I don't want to talk about no future, nothing. No,
Yeah.
no.
We have another comment from Anthony Corcoran. This team makes me sick. Giants need to fire Dayball, find an experienced leader, head coach, and find a QB, find another wide receiver threat. This is everybody. Fix the secondary. This is the entire team, Anthony Corcoran. We've been saying this. They just need to throw everything out and start anew.
Throw them all out in the trash
Yeah.
with the bag of
And
chips that they came in.
I mean, and let's just say that perhaps maybe they were looking, by having granted, a lot of players were hurt to play today's game that were, previously on the roster to start. But a lot of the defense, offensive guys today, there was a lot of names, people making plays I have never seen play on any team because they're rookies and they were on practice team for the Giants. But, perhaps maybe they're looking to see who could maybe take some spots and be on the roster in the future by playing some of them today. Of course, they had no choice, but it's not going to hurt to make some other moves, a lot of new moves, and we know this. June Roman III says, that was horrible. Joe Shane's son would be better GM
I don't know
because
about that.
he wanted Jaden Daniels. He said because the son wanted Jaden Daniels, but
Well, the
also
problem was they couldn't trade for him. Nobody wanted to make the trade. We had no one to give. We had
yeah.
nothing to give. What were we
Oh,
going to do?
yeah,
Give
we
more
had
first round
no
picks?
bargaining chips. We had no bargaining
Nothing. We
chips to
still
move
don't.
up.
We have nothing to give. We have
No,
nothing.
we have to have the first pick in the first round because there's no one that's going to move around anyway for us to get, to
And if
get
the
that spot.
Giants
We need to
trade,
earn it ourselves.
if the Giants trade down, I might have a heart attack. If we trade down in this draft this year for some bull crap, oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have a whole fit.
something they would
I'm
do,
gonna have a whole fit. I'm gonna
because they're
crash out.
looking at the long game. No, no, no. We need to look at right now. No more
Well,
long
Dayball
game.
said it himself. He was looking at it right now. Well, actually, no, he wasn't. He said long game himself. But like
Yeah,
that's
see,
stupid.
that's how they roll.
Why are you looking for the long game when your team's been suffering for a decade? What? No, we need to make a change now. You think fans are okay with being in a losing mentality for the last decade? No. All these other fan bases trolling us when we have no control over the team. I'm tired of it. They're like, oh, y'all trash. Y'all don't know how to run a team. No, I'm not the general manager. I'm just a fan. The Giants front office doesn't know how to run the dang team. Leave the Giants fans out of this. We are being forced to watch this crap.
We definitely.
We are not willingly a part of this. We did not co-sign this. We are all outraged. Like I said, since the first quarter, you could hear booing. No one's wants to see this. Look at the stands when they show the fans. They all look over it. They all look over it. Like they shouldn't have been there, like they should have sold their tickets to somebody else. It's horrible. It's
someone
terrible.
someone had posted on the on X a photo of the stands 5 minutes before kickoff. They were about 60% empty, and it said all these seats still available right before the game. Most people are like sitting, well, waiting, patiently waiting, excited, drinking, having a good time. Those seats were
I mean,
empty.
showed up
People were,
late.
yeah, because it's cold. Why be out there in the cold,
Yeah,
sitting
no
in the
one wants to be out
cold?
there in the cold. They're gonna walk in there when the game start.
Right. Exactly. There's no reason to be out there, freezing your butt off for a bunch of
For those
schmucks.
bums. Yeah, for all those bums.
So, I really believe that that's the case. And let me tell you something. Ticket hold. I'm seeing a lot of more commercials locally when I watch New York channel, New York media, and New York TV, that they say a lot. There's a lot more ticket licensing commercials
I
because I
bet.
think people are giving people are giving those up.
I bet.
And I think that they need people to pick those up. I mean, they shouldn't even have most. I bet you the Chiefs don't even have any available seat licenses. I bet you they don't have any.
Forget that. I'll go one step lower. The Detroit Lions probably don't. And they haven't
Oh,
even
you're
won a
right.
chip in forever. You don't
You're
even
right.
got to go to a team that's won. You can go
Yeah.
right to the Detroit Lions and you can see that.
Yeah. Yeah. It
We're we're the saddest team
it's
in the league right now.
Yeah, because it's because just the personnel, they don't know what they're doing.
At all.
And everybody talks about that. Everybody
It's
talks
bad when they talk
about,
about that over the actual team themselves. They don't even talk about the athletes. They talk
yeah,
about the organ. It is a problem when ESPN and sports media is focused on the general manager and the coaching staff, and they're not talking about a single athlete on the team. The only person that they talked about was Daniel Jones. Now that he's gone, all they talk about is the front office.
yeah, yeah. And that's not that they're not supposed to be the subject of when you mentioned the Giants. We're
No,
not supposed to be talking about those types of things,
they
but
don't run
that's
out
what's
there and throw
going
the
on.
football and run. They don't do any of
No,
that.
no,
But the team is so bad that you have to address it.
yeah,
You have to address because it's a circus show. It's crazy. It is embarrassing. The Giants are an embarrassment. They are a walking embarrassment. I have never seen a team worth hundreds of millions of dollars like that be that garbage. And there's a team like the New York Knicks out there prior to them getting better. I know they're better now. But you got teams like that. You got teams like the Cleveland Browns. You got Detroit Lions. You got the Detroit Pistons. You got teams like that exist. And they're all looking better because their team has better management.
yeah,
Like the
yeah. So
management changed and those teams turned it around.
yeah, and
Our management's been changing for the worst every time.
every time,
It has not improved.
no,
It's like 2016. It has not improved. It's been bad since not even 2015. I didn't see 2014. It's been bad since then.
yeah.
It is what it is. This is just what we have to deal with, Giants fans.
We've seen, we've Michael saying this is the worst Giants team ever seen, and that he saw since the 80s and the 90s. That definitely is
That's
is
definitely true.
true.
I wasn't even alive for most of that. I'll tell you right now, that's true.
Anthony is calling out some players as trash. As Thibodeau, I don't think Thibodeau is trash. I would disagree with that.
Thibodeau
Neil,
came back from an injury.
Neil, yeah. I
He
think
was
Thibodeau is
garbage.
a good player, and he hasn't because the team has sucked around him. He hasn't really had a time to shine. But I think
And
Thibodeau
Dexter's not there
has it.
anymore. You're missing pieces of the puzzle. If you don't have
Yeah,
Dexter in the middle, Kayvon's gonna get doubled every time. That's just what's gonna happen.
yeah.
Hell, you can chip
Neil,
him, there won't be
Evan
no
Neal
problem.
definitely is trash. Anthony, I agree with
Evan
that.
Neal's
And
garbage. Evan Neal is garbage.
yeah, the son
Theo
has been
Johnson,
saying that.
garbage. I don't
Yeah,
like Theo Johnson. Devin Singletary, garbage.
yeah.
Garbage.
Hawkins, I think Hawkins. We can't say Hawkins because I think Hawkins really hasn't played until today, right? I don't think we really have seen Hawkins play until today.
No.
So I can't say trash. Hyatt, Jalen Hyatt. It's
Jalen
not.
Hyatt's
It's not,
not garbage. The team don't know how to use
no.
him. We
Yeah,
don't have a
I
quarterback
think
that
he
can throw
has.
50 yards.
Yeah,
We don't have no
yeah.
time. We don't have an offensive
No.
line to give him time to develop. Jalen Hyatt is a person that you throw the ball down the field to. You get him
Yeah.
open in the middle of the field for 30, 40-yard pass down the field, or down by the
Hmm.
sideline, or past the numbers on the side of the numbers. You don't. Jalen Hyatt can't be done or can't be used any other way. He is a deep route receiver threat,
Yeah.
and we don't have the offense or people around him in the offense to do that. Jalen Hyatt should be traded. There's some
Yeah.
Devin Singletary should just be cut. That man needs to go work at a McDonald's. I'm tired of seeing him in the
I'm
NFL.
sure
He's garbage.
there is a
He's garbage.
fry machine that has Secretary's name on
He's
it.
straight garbage. I hate Devin Singletary with a passion.
I
I,
think you mostly hate Devin Singletary because of the premise as to why he was brought onto the team, right? He
yeah,
was
and he
supposed
sucks. It
to
doesn't help that he sucks too.
replace Saquon, but that hasn't. And Saquon is just he's making so many different new strides in his career, breaking records, and you know we all know that story. We don't have to keep going over that, but yeah, we June says Hyatt is a speedster, but no time for him to get the ball. Yeah, exactly. There's no time for Hyatt to get the ball. We all know the reason why for that. So, we could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about the same old. But the only thing that remains the same regarding from game to game this season is that we're not winning. And the closer we are to maybe a first round to number one, excuse me, first round draft pick, and that would be great. I don't think we have the front office to make the right decision even at number one. If we have number one, I still think they'll look at some guy on a team that that did well on a college team, but is a diamond in the rough. I keep saying that, but I believe that's how they picked out Daniel Jones. They didn't get the guy that that everybody was talking about that they could have gotten. And I think they'll do it again, even at pick number one. Mark my words. If Joe Shane is in charge, I think that will happen. I
Well,
do.
if the Manning brothers want to endorse the quarterback, it'll certainly happen. Because that's what
Yeah,
happened
you're
with Daniel
right.
Jones. He got the Manning endorsement, and that was it. That's all he
Yeah,
needed. But that's
yeah.
all. That's all he needed. They were like, the Mannings like him. Oh, okay. Say no more. We'll sign him. So that could happen. But we're done. I can't. I can't keep talking about the
The
same.
sun is done. Well, you know
I
what?
can't.
Thank you for joining us. It really was an interesting, boring, and
Ah,
slightly interesting game to watch us lose once again. But we're happy you joined us, and thank you for subscribing. And to anyone who
yes,
subscribed today,
please
we
keep it up.
appreciate those subscriptions because every new subscription helps us out. We really appreciate that. It doesn't cost you anything to do it. And tell your friends, tell them about this wonderful mother and son that are having
First,
having fun. We're the first mother and son really talking about football. Definitely having a post game show for the New York Giants. So thank you so much, and keep the comments going as you watch the video, the replay of the video, and we look forward to perhaps talking about the same thing. Week 15. I don't
against the
even know who we're
freaking
playing in
Ravens.
week
I'm playing the
15. You know
Ravens.
why? Oh gosh, it's going to be a disaster. We are so screwed for week 15, but that's okay.
Start placing your bets
Again,
for how many points we'll lose by. My
the
guess is
road,
21.
the road to number one. That's what we're doing. The
Number one.
road. Inside joke between the son and I and anybody who's been to Disney. Last comment from June. Saquon is breaking records. Yes, and breaking our hearts. Uh, and this June says the son still has his jersey. Hey, I still have Saquon's jersey, and I'm gonna be keeping it.
Yep.
Uh, I don't know that they're
I'm
gonna
not.
be able.
I'm not
I don't
giving
think
it
he
away.
was there long enough for them to give him any accolades later in his life. I don't think that's happening with the
Saquon.
Giants. No, I don't think
Well, with the
they do
falling
that.
out, it's not happening. With the way
Yeah,
that's not
it's
happening. You can
sad.
forget about that.
He'll get all the accolades with the Eagles. He'll get all his accolades, the team accolades
Oh,
when
that
he
makes me
retires.
sick to my stomach.
Yeah, he'll be getting the Ring of Honor, all that stuff with the Eagles. Yeah, yeah, he should have been getting ours, but whatever.
That
We
makes
have
me
no
sick to
control
my
over that.
stomach.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, June, for saying that we're amazing. You're amazing too. And
We
oh,
appreciate you,
longtime
June.
fan. Well, thank you. I don't remember seeing you in the chat in our recent one. So thank you for joining us today, and thanks everybody for joining us today. We are out. We will see you for the post game in week 15. See you then.
Prepare yourselves. Hold on to your butts.
All right, we are off.
Uh,
I stretched it out a little bit more because I wanted us to have us a little bit more viewers because when we get